Imagine this. You go to a party and you're kind of excited to be invited because it's been a while, right? It's been a while since we've been to a party. You get there and about an hour in, you just kind of want to escape to the outside. You find yourself out on the patio, just kind of breathing. And you know you should go in and talk, but then you kind of think, I don't really want to talk, but I want to be around, but I don't want to be around. Oh, this is just one of the weird hangups some of us, we empaths have. I wanted to shake them out, show you guys what they are. Some of you are going to identify with it. Some of you are going to realize for the very first time, oh my God, I am a lot more intuitive than I have ever realized. And some of you are just going to listen and laugh at the ridiculousness of some of us who do this work, what we think, our insecurities, our strange and special needs. So let's dive in. Let's go for it. Let me share with you some of my observations over my life of myself and many. Boy, I swim in the whole pool of empath fishies. So I've got a lot to dig from, a lot of material here for you. Oh, and real quick, I use some language, some bad language in this episode. So if you're sensitive, plug your ears. So let's jump right in. Flowdreaming, still kinda woo-woo, is just what it sounds like. An escape into the world of woo. Also, a ride into you. And how to feel happier, wiser, and more self-aware in every way. It's your ultimate journey into personal growth and inner power. We'll explore ideas like how your energy self influences the kinds of opportunities you encounter, or how your personal growth can drive your business growth, or even how that feeling of being stuck is really always coming from something else. We just have to figure out what. That's right, we're a dash of woo-woo, a sprinkle of self-care, a heap of problem-solving and pattern-busting, and a giant cup of encouragement. We're going to relight so much passion, purpose, self-love, and confidence in you that you practically stagger. I'm Summer McStravick, your host, and welcome to Flowdreaming, still kinda woo-woo. Dang, it's cold. It is a cold month here in Southern California. By that, I mean, it's like, 58 outside. I have no right at all to be complaining. But if you hear me pop my little foot heater on, that's why. I've got my nice big dog in the office with me. I've got a couple of my cats. They're all going to make various noises during today's episode. So let's just be prepared. Get yourselves ready for it. Right off the bat, I was inspired to do this because the last few weeks I have been doing many one-on-one private sessions with people. About once a year, I will kind of clear my schedule for several weeks and offer, hey, if you guys want to try me out, you want to test this, set up a time. This is your chance. This is the time to do it. You're curious. It won't happen again for 8 months, 9 months. The last time it was a whole year. I don't do sessions with people all throughout the year because it creates a little bit of a chaotic schedule for me. I do work with a small group of people. I work with them every month. They are committed. So what we're doing is we're creating change, giving them direction month after month, like course correcting continuously. That's my favorite form of working with somebody because then I get to see the changes, we get to reflect on it, we get to make new choices. It's very different than just kind of putting out a fire. But nonetheless, I do a couple different kinds of sessions. One is just like an hour, like what is the subject you want? It's 45 minutes to an hour. What is the thing that you want to learn about, know about, change? Combination of intuitive advice, looking at you, looking at your whole life, reading everything that I see in energy, and then providing you with some directions, some things that feel like this is a free and easy and open route. Why aren't you on it? Giving you, a kick on this is what you should do and where you should go. I also do a deep dive version of this, which is, it's more extraordinary. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that kind of context because I have been in one of these phases of doing lots and lots and lots of readings. And it brought up to me, it reminded me all the weirdnesses that come out when you are an empath, whether you're a practicing one or you are a practicing one, or you are a secret empath, or maybe you just don't even know. So I'm going to lay them out. It's kind of fun. If you are curious, I haven't remembered to say this in the last few shows, but everything Flowdreaming is still here. It's still in these archives. There are now 19 seasons of the show, and this year it got a radical facelift. It got a makeover. It got a new do from top to bottom. Yeah, Flowdreaming is still part of what I talk about, but it's a piece of it, right? Not the whole thing. I needed a new name, a new look, a new branding, zhuzh thing, just to give myself permission to go out in all these different areas that I've been just hungering to talk about with you. But if you want straight, pure Flowdreaming, go back to episode 683 and before. Next thing, if you're curious about when I have these, moments during the year when me school is happening, when I open my doors to sessions, just get on my mailing list. I am an old-fashioned girl. I love email. I am terrible at Facebook Messenger. I am just ridiculously late answering or seeing anything that you send me on Instagram. Eventually I find it, a couple weeks, maybe some months later, but I will. Email me, get on my mailing list, go to my website, flowdreaming.com. You'll find this entire Flowdreaming shop of wonders, courses, and audios, just an amazing amount of stuff. But also, there is a way for you to get a free training on Flowdreaming. And if you sign up for that, bingo, you're on the list. Okay, jumping in. I'm going to start with number 1. We empaths, the weird hang-up that we have is we just don't tell others what we do. we just keep it on the DL. Maybe we tell one or two good friends who are kind of into the woo-woo with us. But everybody else, we don't really, you don't need to really bring that up. They don't really need to hear about that. Even those of us who do practice it, who do, charge for a reading. Sometimes we have a hard time saying, well, this is what you're going to get, and this is what you're going to see, and this is what the experience will be like. We have a difficult time standing behind our craft. I'm not sure why we do this. I have some ideas. And I know that myself, I hold back. I would say out of all of my friends that I normally hang out with, they all know what I do. Only about 3 of them really embrace what I do. Embrace it, love it. We talk about it. They're into it. I'm into it. Everybody else, it's like, oh, how's work? Work's great. That's it. Or we just don't, it just doesn't come up. They never ask me any questions about themselves or their lives. They just, it just doesn't happen. And, I don't feel any need to shove it down their throats either. But generally, a lot of us just don't tell people. So let's think about this. Let's just go a little deeper. Why? Well, sometimes we don't tell people because we're still carrying hang-up number 2. We hold back what we see because we think, what if I'm wrong? How can you confidently be out there saying, yeah, I feel everything. I sense things. I know things. I read things. And then maybe someone says, really? Would you read for me? Would you tell me what you see? And I'm not even going to go into all the distinctions of empathic intuition or being psychic, etc. Some people love to look forward in the future, see the possibilities, and give future readings. Some people love to do body scans and work with the cells and your system and kind of give you that health information reading. Some of us, myself in particular, I read you, your emotions and your thoughts. An old-fashioned classic mind reader. The caveat is you could be in front of me. You can be on the other side of a Zoom call with me. You can be halfway around the world and not even somebody that I know directly. I'm talking to my client who wants me to go talk to somebody else that they know, who are currently residing in Adelaide or, I don't know. I don't know why I picked that. Australia? Or you don't even have to be in a body. A consciousness is a consciousness, whether or not I can physically see it in front of me or through a screen, or whether it's so-called still here on Earth or not. That's kind of what I do. And I have also been through that weird feeling of, well, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And for many years, I did hide behind that. When I was younger, I used to read the cards a lot more. I did tarot and got pretty darn good with it. But you see, it was the cards who was saying this. I was just interpreting. I was just explaining something that was otherwise coming through. It was a lot easier because I wasn't standing in it and saying, this is what I see and do. Empaths like me, possibly like you, ones who are either doing it, like I said, professionally or not, we sometimes don't use any devices. No cards, no pendulums, no astrology, no numerology, like nothing. That's how I do it. I just go straight in. My mind to your mind. My mind, very Vulcan. My mind to your mind. You know what? In fact, it is oddly Vulcan. Whenever you see that mind meld, it's a really similar thing, right? And having to hold or use objects or, have this little interface would be awkward. But there was a time when I did. Because if I was wrong, it was like, oh, well, maybe I interpreted it wrong. Or maybe the cards were just flat wrong. Or maybe your vibe is off. But generally, like if you're not somebody who does this for work, you feel something, you know something. Your gut is screaming at you, this. But we don't say it. What if we're wrong? What if we look stupid? What if somebody believes us, takes action on it, and then loses their shirts? Oh my God. It's one thing to commiserate with a friend who's saying, I just need to quit my job. It's hard. I'm losing my mind. And you're like, yeah, you really should. They don't appreciate you and you can do so much better, right? That's cool. We all do that. But if your friend is saying, oh, I hate my job, and you're saying, you're right, I really feel intuitively that it's time for you to go. I feel that you'll do better. I feel that you're hanging on. I feel that it's not a fit. You're a square peg in a round hole. Go. Now, what if they do? And then what if they don't get a new job for 6 months or a year? Those are the kind of things that make us feel uncertain. It's that little quiver. It's that holdback. But what happens is we're not even thinking about that, so we just kind of bite our tongues all the time. Think right now, how many people do you know things about that you could share with them that would be an eye-opener to them? But you're not going to do it. Nope. Not going to say that. Nope. I bet you had a few people just boom, pop in your head right away. You're holding back. And you might say, well, I don't want to hurt them or disappoint them or send them down the wrong direction. All of that is stuff that empaths say. I know it's what you think everybody says. Not so. Empaths, we do it to an extreme degree. Okay. Now, let's go the opposite. Another weird hang-up. By the way, hang-up is, it's a strange term. I realize if you're listening and English is not your first language, you're like Googling, what does hang-up mean? Does like hang up the phone or you hanging up a shirt? Hang-up is like something that you're just kind of weird about. It's a weird thing for you. Kind of sometimes a little prickly feeling. I actually Googled, thesaurus, hang-ups, nothing. There is literally no better word. I'm like, come on, there must be like a millennial word for it. Nope, still hang-up. So that's what I mean. Okay, The other kind of hang up, the opposite of those of us who just hold back. What if I'm wrong? What if there's a result that they hate me for? What if? Okay, these empaths, they can't help themselves. They will tell you things you don't want to hear. I can't share with you how many times I've heard a client say, wow, I was standing in line at the grocery store, and this woman says to me, you know, you have entities attached to you, and you really should clear them out. And I freaked out, and this is their story. And like, why did they say that? I mean, it's true. I mean, I have this religious upbringing, and maybe they're right. And I did live in that weird, scary apartment for a while. And I'm like, why in the world would someone, a stranger, tell you something that would set your toes on fire? What is the point of that? And I know what that empath was thinking. They were thinking, I'm doing a service, I'm doing a good deed, I'm going to help this person with something that otherwise nobody would tell them. But remember, you don't know what people are ready to hear. You don't know what they'll do with the information. I've had clients carry that scary feeling with them for months and years, second guessing all of their events and things that happen to them. Maybe it's because of the scary, creepy, ghouly thing in my aura. And then I sit with them and I say, no. One, how do you know this person is right? Two, it sounds to me like they're pushing some sort of awareness that they had through the prism of their own religious upbringing, right? So they're gonna make it sound like spirits or demons or creepy hangers-on. I'm like, is that what you believe? And then they have to stop and say, well, I don't know, or no. And I say, did this knowledge help you? No. What's it done? It's made me feel insecure and upset and kind of worried for years. Made me pay people to try to take the demons away. I'm like, did it work? I don't know. I didn't know they were there in the first place. So what I'm saying is, be very cautious before you share information with people who do not explicitly ask for it. All kinds of information, right? You've had friends, I've had, parents giving you that advice. It's such good advice. They feel so good about it, but you just want to run, hide, plug your ears. I don't want to hear it. I didn't ask for your opinion. Didn't ask for your opinion. So these are empaths who are just basically people who also say stuff where their friends and family didn't ask for their opinion. They're just cloaking it in this more psychic-y stuff. They could be flat out wrong. Remember that. All of us empaths could be wrong. Like I just said, we all risk it all the time. A good, humble empath says, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm sensing something kind of unbalanced in you right now. Are you tired? Are you worn out? Do you feel like you're not, closed up and wearing a warm, comfy sweater against the world? That's what I feel right now. That's what I would have said to that person standing in the line at the grocery store if I felt something awkward or icky. And maybe they would have said, yeah, my mom just passed. I'm going through deep grief. I feel like shit. Like, there you go. That explains it. That explains the feelings that are wafting off of you and onto me and everybody else in this line. There you go. Oh my, I think that means I'm going to have to mark yet another episode with the explicit. Sorry. Oh boy. Well, that's part of what I'm doing. Ever since I wrote my latest book, which is just absolutely filled with saucy language, salty, sassy, salsa-filled language. I have just let myself completely go. Anyway, let's keep going. There's more. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is a very good time for us to stop and do one of my favorite new segments. That's right, my darlings. It's shower thoughts. Shower thoughts. So, here's an idea for you to rumble around in your mind later on tonight or tomorrow, laying in bed, driving home, spending those few minutes in line waiting to pick up your prescription or your groceries. Shower thoughts. This one today has to do with how we choose what beliefs we hold. When we first get our beliefs, it's usually because our parents, our family, our culture, society around us. And it kind of secretly starts, pouring into us from a very young age. Your parents maybe took you to church or talked about the Lord. You watched TV and cartoons, or you watched TV. You're on your iPad or your iPhone. And you're getting all this communication about the toys that you should want, the things that should be appropriate for you as your gender, etc. So we end up at this point where we have this loose basket of beliefs that sort of other people have poured into us, like pouring sugar out of a measuring bowl, just pouring it in. And eventually we start to think, I wonder if these are right. And some of us go through that existential crisis, that religious crisis. And we say, I don't believe this. Wait a minute. How can I believe this? And another religion believes that. And supposedly God loves all of us, but then they don't. And then, that whole thing that we go through. And sometimes we kind of dump most of our beliefs. We just say, I can't figure out who's right. None of them are right. And so we say I'm spiritual, but I don't have any specific religious beliefs or beliefs about life. We do, though. We all do. We have beliefs about what's right and wrong, how we should act, behave, how we expect our partners to act or behave, how we think work should treat us. We have lots of beliefs everywhere. Everything you can think of, there is a little cozy belief wrapped itself right around it. Everything. What a friendship means, the kind of food you should put in your body. Beliefs. Tons of them. The shower thought here is, a lot of beliefs, it's really hard to know if they're true, like really true. Especially the ones that are, we still are looking for answers for. And this has come up in a big way in the last decade, culturally, socially. A lot of people have beliefs that we just scratch our heads at now and think that is the kookiest, craziest thing I've ever heard. That's a conspiracy. Just think about this. We're looking for truth. What if instead of saying I'm looking for pure truth in my beliefs, what if instead we say, I'm looking for beliefs that make me feel good, that make others feel good, that contribute to others' joy and not to their suffering, that contribute to the earth's growth and longevity, not its destruction. I mean, that is a belief in itself, right? The belief of goodness. The number one belief, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. But what if you decided to make that the new, needle on your compass? And the truth of things became a lot less important. What it would mean is we would stop arguing with people over what the truth is. And instead, we would be arguing about, is this going to help more people or hurt more people? Is this going to help our bodies or hurt our bodies? Is this going to help our children or threaten our children? I think our conversations in this world would be so incredibly different. Because when you have to stake your flag in the ground of truth, you then have to hold that flag. You've got to hold that territory against anybody who encroaches on it. And that's what we see today, these tiny little fiefdoms of billions of people with their little flags of truth fighting everybody else off and or trying to band together with their little groups, and then they fight the other groups. So that's your shower thought. Maybe stop trying to find what the right answer is and instead start looking for the answers that make you feel really good. I do this. If I think of something and I say, that does not make me feel good, that's a yucky thing to think and feel. That belief means that I have to be right. It means this other person is wrong. Maybe they're going to go to hell. Maybe there's something wrong about them. I stop. I want to believe things that make me feel good, that make me feel good about other people, that make me feel hope for other people. I'm not disparaging truth. I am all over those fact-checking websites. Believe me, I do like to hear unbiased, straight-up information. But then once I hear that, once I learn that, I pick to act on, to take into me the things that I think will make me feel good and make others feel good. Right? Bring us together, not divide us. I hope you enjoyed today's shower thought. How are you guys enjoying the new format? We're a couple episodes, more than a couple episodes in now. And you're starting to get a feel, the flavor of where things are going. I've got some fabulous interviews lined up, things that I just want to learn more about. Things that have to do with psychology, sociology, spirituality, intuition, wealth creation, all the things that just, thrill me. That's where we're going to go. Let me know. Would you rate this podcast? Would you drop a few words into wherever you listen and just tell other people what you think? That would mean, oh my God, so much to me. I'm going to thank you in advance right now for taking the 2 minutes it takes to do that. Let's go back now. More weird hangups that empaths have. I'm not done. You guys, this list is extensive. Okay, it's the ones I started thinking about it, I was like, wow, I'm a hot neurotic mess. Fortunately, I don't have all of these hangups, or maybe I have at one point or another. Really, they're a conglomeration of things that I've seen and felt in lots and lots of my peers over my life. Here's the next one. We cannot figure out where our moods come from or why they can crash so fast. So I'm not talking things like bipolar or real psychological health issues. I'm talking more like I was in a great mood and then I walked into work and suddenly I felt like crap and I got very irritable and I thought maybe it's just low blood sugar, but no. And then I really didn't want to be there. You're like, what? Wait, what happened? What? And maybe you've heard this before. Empaths, you guys, we're like chameleons. Those little lizards that change color according to their surroundings. That's what we do. We do it by instinct. We do it naturally. We do it without even knowing we are doing it. We're great at it. So you walk in a workplace and maybe somebody in the office is really pissed off and they're really angry at somebody else. And there was a big blow up yesterday and they're still carrying it and you're sitting right next to them. And you don't know what happens, but you were in a good mood and then you started to get a little annoyed and then you got irritable. And it's like the wave of them, the wave of their energetic self just pulsing with this hot anger and disgust just keeps hitting you. Boom, 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 boom. Crashing through the walls of your cubicle or crashing through the stockroom or the plant or wherever you work. It hits you. Changes you. You don't even know what's happening. You align to it. That's right. I'm pissed too. What are you pissed about? I have no idea. Sometimes our moods will change incredibly fast. I don't know why I'm suddenly upset. I don't know why I feel this way. Sometimes we even say that to ourselves. We're like, why do I feel this? I have no reason to feel this way. This is you just being you. This is you being an empath, particularly an empath who doesn't know what the heck you're doing or hasn't learned to ask yourself when you feel those abrupt shifts, is this me or is this somebody else? More than half the time, you're going to discover it's somebody else. And maybe it's not even somebody around you. Maybe it's somebody you love. Maybe it's somebody far away. Again, let's let go of that proximity bias. The proximity bias, meaning if they're close, you're going to feel it more. Energy is energy is energy. If your mom or your child or your brother, sister, best friend is going through something, there are countless books and stories written about this. Something happens and you have this moment where you just feel like, oh my gosh, I have to call them. Oh, right? You're not feeling based on proximity. Outside of physical, there is no proximity. It's all this sort of holographic mush. Everything on top of inside of everything. It's very hard to explain. Just roll with this. So you can be feeling something happen. I do this. Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you a little something private. I probably should do my little personal information update here, but I'm going to tell you something private. My daughter is in college and I don't talk about her much because she hates it when I talk about her. But I'll tell you this. There have been mornings and I've woken up and I'm just like, God, I feel so depressed. I don't even want to get out of bed. I feel like crud balls on a stick and, oh God. And then I'll text her, hey, hon, how you doing today? And she's like, I don't feel good today, Mom. I'm so stressed out. I don't even want to get out of bed. And I go, oh my God, I am being my daughter. Oh, okay. And then I remind myself, I use my techniques to divorce our energies because she needs me to stand up for her. She needs to be empathetically connected to me, not the other way around, right? The person with the higher energy, I want her to start feeling my energy, not me feeling hers. But being a mom, it's definitely more my tendency because we're always like wide open to our children. So that's a little example of how this particularly works. Moving right along, right? You guys thinking about sometimes this happens to you or you're starting to nod your heads vigorously? Yeah. Oh my God, maybe I'm an empath. I know it. I know. Here's one. We don't say what we need to say because we can already feel somebody's response. Oh, you little wimp. You little wimpy empath. I'm joking. I'm joking because that's the negative self-talk that we say to ourselves. I'm afraid. I'm too wobbly-kneed. I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want to put that in our family. I don't want to, my relationship is already rocky enough. That's just going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Here's what we're doing as this empath. We're not saying what we need to say because we know what we need to say, but we have already had experience, so much experience with this person. It's like we're reaching forward and we're feeling, I know how they're going to take it. I know it's going to. If there is something you need to say to somebody and you can finish that by saying, but I know that they're going to blah, 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 then you are doing this precise thing. And the problem is you are probably right. If you were wrong, then you wouldn't have this issue. You'd be like, yeah, I tell everybody everything because I don't know what they're going to say. So why should I worry about it? But the thing is, you're usually right about it. And so you shy away. And yes, there's classic literature on conflict avoidance and so forth. But oftentimes we just know what we're getting into. We feel it before it happens. We anticipate it, we get ready for it, and then we just shy right away. You know what? There are ways to address this in the world of flow dreaming in particular. Come join me in Me School someday. I'll teach you all about this, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can instead get into a state where you are wide open to people having their own personal responses that are not your responsibility. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong about their response, but you don't need to pre-feel their response before you've even allowed them to actually physically have it. We work on that because we empaths oftentimes need to get a lot more strong inside. Thinking about that one, huh? Interesting. Well, look, I've got one more. And then, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break this up into 2 episodes. Because my list is, it just keeps going, going and going and going. So here's the last one. We're often intensely insecure about our ability. We downplay it, and we always think someone else's skill is so much better. This is different than holding back, not telling others. We may tell others and stuff. We may even be like a practicing intuitive. But we can also be intensely insecure about it. We can try to, downplay other people's expectations for us, downplay what we do, shush it under the rug. Conversely, though, oh my God, my friend is so good. Oh, I saw the best reader last week. Every year I get my astrological reading. Like, we have a list of people who are good, but it's not usually us. It's always somebody else. When do you get to be good? Right? When do you get to be good? Being good has nothing to do with doing this professionally, by the way. I know some extraordinary empaths, never done a professional day in their life, never charged a penny for anything that they read or saw. They're just good at it. They use it in their own life. They craft these amazing lives with all of these skills used in a very positive way, a profound way. But when we're insecure, we try to act like it's nothing. Oh, yeah, I do that. Well, it kind of runs in the family a little bit, or I don't know. I mean, yeah. Is that you? Is that you? There you go. There. Whew. That list got me going, as you can tell. I'm hoping, though, that by sharing this with you, all the weird insecurities and hangups that empaths have, you will recognize yourself in a couple. And the point of that is not to make you feel like crummy about what you saw, but for you to take power over it, right? To take charge of this. To say, oh, I see this. Dang. See, I call these power leaks. It's one of my favorite things to talk about and work with clients and students on, power leaks. If you have these and they're a power leak in your life, you know what? We can plug that hole. We can stop it. We can change it. We can make it go away and never have it come back again. And your life will definitely respond to that. So that's the purpose. That's the point. Again, you guys curious about what I do, how I employ empathic intuition? I know you wonder, you're like, you teach Flowdreaming and manifesting, Summer. I teach everything, to be honest. In fact, I'm hard at work right now on an enormous course about empathic intuition, something just about as big as Me School, meaning it'll be the second biggest thing I've created essentially in my career. I realized teaching people how to create and manifest, right? The yin use of energy. Well, I'm ready to go to the other side. The yang. Oh, shoot, I screwed that up. The yang. The yang use. That's the masculine. That's the co-creation. The yin side is the empathic side, right? So I'm going there. You'll hear more about it in the months and so forth. I have no idea how long it will take me to finish. There's a whole book and everything going to go along with it. So until next time, I love you guys, and I'm so glad that you chose to spend this time with me. I hope to provide lots of interesting noodles of thought and thinking about this world of personal growth, your place in it. And I'll see you next time when we continue with more weird things. Weird hangups that empaths have. And that's it for Flowdreaming. Still kinda woo-woo. Me School is happening, and it only happens once a year. This year, we're starting in September, and it is a wild and wonderful ride. In fact, last year, more than half of the students were taking it for their second or third time, which is crazy. What it tells you is that 1, Me School is epic. for learning how to awaken or accelerate your intuition, learning to manifest at a richer, deeper level, and for creating those long-standing desires, making those things in your life finally real. And 2, Me School works. It just works. So head on over to flowdreaming.com/me-school. We are registering you right now. I really hope to see you as part of our Me School class and one of the next people on this planet to graduate into their next level self. Again, just head on over to flowdreaming.com/me-school and learn all about it.